Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dave coming to you from the paddock here in Southern Maryland, and this is a VR or a springboard to Potter Piper's recent video where he asks us a question, and the question is, does lawlessness serve a purpose? So what follows is strictly my opinion, but I'm going to take you to the screens. I put some things together for you. I believe the answer is absolutely yes. It serves an incredibly evil and well thought out agenda, and I'm going to take you through the background of why I think that and what's happening in the larger world. I think it's far more than just lawlessness. So I want to answer Potter's question right out. I think the answer is yes. I think it's a part of a much larger situation, though, and that's what I want to take you through. So I'm going to take you through some history and some background to it, and then I'll show you what I think is happening today, where the lawlessness question is just one of 8 or 9 that I put forward. So I'm going to take you to the screens, and I'll take you through a little bit of history first, and then we'll talk about what I think's going on. I guess the other thing is I'm not even going to try to put a pipe in this or anything. I think it's too serious. So if you're watching this video for pipes and tobacco, we're not even going to go there today. So you can go ahead and click off and go do something else. This is strictly about world affairs. And I can hear it now. This doesn't belong on the YTPC. I certainly understand that position. I'm going to put it here anyway. But this has nothing to do with pipes and tobacco, except what we see happening with pipes and tobacco and products like that in our world is part of it. So I'm going to talk about a concept called the Hegelian dialect, and its name comes from a guy. His name was George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. He was a German. He was born in 1770. He lived 1831. He was one of the great German philosophers of his day, and he has a lot of credit. He's given a lot of credit for giving I guess today's modern philosophy thoughts. Anyway, his name is stuck to this dialectic, this concept, but it's really unfair. What he taught almost had nothing to do with it. So I'm going to show it to you. But the term you'd want to look up is the Hegelian dialectic. So that's what we're going to start talking about here. I'm going to take you to the screens now. All right, you guys are going to have to hang with me for a bit. So here it is, the Hegelian dialectic. And the idea behind it is that you set an agenda, you put out a problem with a thesis, you propose a reaction or antithesis, then you mix them together for a solution. So agenda, problem, reaction, solution is the modern terms. Here you see an example of, we want to centralize power through the monopoly of currency. The problem or thesis is create a Federal Reserve unbacked intangible currency. The antithesis or the reaction is, well, gold standard is honest money. So you roll them together to get what you really wanted, and that's the synthesis or the solution. Digital gold, fraudulent gold-backed digital currency owned by the same guys that caused the problem. So that's a pretty key statement. It's proposed by the people who created the problem. So a problem is created, and the solution is what they really are looking for, and they tried to get to it via a problem. So that's the Hegelian dialectic, is you create a problem so that your solution looks reasonable and you can move forward with it. So this is the modern representation, right? We talk about the Hegelian dialectic, but it's really the more modern phrase is problem, reaction, solution, but they've tagged it with Hegelian dialectic. So if you do any research or reading on it, you really need to look up both. But this is a great one, I thought. Problem, reaction, solution. In order to control so many diverse factions, oligarchs, they, in our parlance, must get them to fight each other. Who's them? Guess what? Us. In order to control so many diverse factions, oligarchs must get them to fight each other. Behind smoke screens, their wizards create war after war, pitting brother against brother. Here's another one, the Hegelian dialectic, or problem reaction solution. This method basically involves fabricating or intensify a problem, offering a draconian solution, then settling for a compromise that nevertheless furthers the intended goal. I don't know why he's on it, but I like the saying, once you understand that the solution wasn't created to solve the problem, but the problem was intentionally created for the solution to be rolled out, you will comprehend the magnitude of evil and the people behind everything. I really want you to read this. Once you understand that the solution wasn't created to solve the problem, but the problem was intentionally created for the solution to be rolled out, then you will comprehend the magnitude of evil and the people behind these things. And this last slide is my slide. And what I tried to create here is, I think we're not facing one thing anymore. So if you look here, this is Potter Piper's question: does a crime crisis provide anything? Is there any benefit to it? Does anybody benefit from this concept? I'm going to try and move this a little bit. And I say yes, we're creating a crime problem in the United States. You see it in our largest cities. San Francisco and LA are the greatest examples. Chicago's the next one. The homeless crisis, the blow up in crime in our cities. What we're seeing, the murder rate in Chicago has even got people living in Chicago wondering if they're doing the right thing by voting for who they're voting for. But you've seen it in LA and San Francisco with these, the ability to rob a store every day as long as they keep it under a certain dollar amount. And then the homelessness that's allowed and all that. So I think, yes, it is providing benefit to a larger problem. But in my opinion, we've taken it to another level now. And I guess that's what I want to talk to you about. So we'll go back to that screen in a minute, but our history is full of this behavior. If you do any reading about the sinking of the Lusitania, hang on a second. May 7th, 1915, the Lusitania was sank. But if you read about how it actually occurred, we allowed it to happen. We wanted it to happen. The Germans took ads out in our newspaper saying, please don't get on the Lusitania. We know it's hauling arms. We know it was designed and built as a warship. We consider it a ship of war, but almost none of our newspapers would run the ads. Only a couple chose to run them. But we knew what we were doing, and we allowed it to be sunk. If you read about the radio traffic, its escorts were pulled as it got into waters that we knew were infested with German U-boats. We wanted to be sunk because we knew the public would react in such a way that we would be able to get into World War I. And so, that's that problem solution, right? Hey, we had a problem. The German U-boats are killing Americans and all this. We can solve this if we get involved in the war, which the United States was very much against until Lusitania was sank. We did the same thing in World War II. We put an oil embargo on Japan to the point where they knew they were going to be crippled as a society. We did that, and we knew what it would do. And if you read, even if you just go to Wikipedia and read about the U.S. embargo on Japan before World War II, you'll see factually written up there the things that we did to make Japan eventually attack us. And we basically kind of forced them into it. So again, we create a problem and we present a solution, and it's, again, go to war. There are many out there who will claim that 9/11 was the same thing, and since that's in our living memory, most of us have opinions about it and are horrified to think that it's possible that we false flagged that, or knew of it and allowed it to happen, because then it would allow things like the Patriot Act to occur, and it would give us our reason, it would be our air cover to go into essentially the Middle East, and establish to this day, military presence that is probably questionable at best. So I think there's history of doing this, both internationally and inside the U.S., where a problem is proffered, it's actually created, it's allowed to take effect in society. Society then reacts in such a way that they want a government solution. And the government solution is usually something pretty draconian, as it says here: go to war. Uh, the lockdowns we experienced in 2020 for a couple of years, we allowed things that we normally wouldn't allow because society is feared into it. So I'm going to go back to you now. I want to talk to this slide that I put together. Okay, everybody. So we're back now at this slide that I put together. We've been talking about this. Potter Piper was talking about this box right here, and I mean, I totally respect him for bringing it up. And the question he postured that I said yes to was, does crime serve a larger purpose? And I think it does. But I think someday we'll talk about who they are if you want to, but I think they've perfected their craft, and they've done a lot of one box crisis generation, right? World War I, World War II, the Spanish-American War, 9/11, and we've had some currency crises in the past, but they were one-offs. And look, this is what I think they're doing today. I think they've said, holy smokes, wait a minute, why only focus on one box? Why don't we create an entire pressure system around the Western world? The society that this box is you and me, the USA, England, UK, Europe. The Western world is inside of here, and look at all the crises they are generating today. I think they have perfected their craft and said, wait a minute, if one crisis gets us that problem solution, that crisis reaction solution, maybe if we put so much pressure on these guys from all these different types of crises, we can really create an oligarchy, a ruling class worldwide. We're no longer talking about nation states. We're talking about unified world government and all that. Now we can talk about how. This is not how. Okay, this is what they're doing. How they're doing it is the World Economic Forum and taking control of our kids out of the education system, taking our decision capability on gender and all that. So that's why you see these other boxes now. So this is where the COVID situation went in, and there's more coming. And we've had bank failures, and there's more coming. We've had race issues. We got the southern border, the immigration crisis. We've got, the boomers suck. We have intergenerational crises being done, ginned up on us. We've got the gender crisis. I think most of us know what's going on there. And then the military crisis, and it's no longer one, right? Look at this list. I mean, I just typed this up on 5 minutes just trying to get this video out. I mean, Ukraine, Russia, Gaza, the Houthi, Yemen, Niger, Venezuela, and North Korea. These are all hot zones right now, and there are more coming. You see, China isn't even on this list yet. So, I mean, just look at the number of crises they're generating. I think there's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's like 15 crises out there, and China makes it like 16. So I do think that the question is, does crime create a crisis that they want created does it serve a purpose? I answer absolutely yes, but I also say it's not just this one anymore. There are 15 others that are being that are squeezing us as a society in today's world. So guys, we are way down the rabbit hole now. So, and any video that I make coming from this, it goes down any of these spikes, is going further and further into the rabbit hole, and probably starting to border on what the platform we're on will allow to be discussed. So I don't know how much further to take this, but I'll certainly please VR back to this, VR back to Potter Piper's original question. Ask questions, push back. I mean, this could be kind of a whole nother series of what we're facing with all those arrows pointing at us. And anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And Potter Piper, that was a pretty big question out there. So thanks for doing that. I appreciate it. You kicked off, quite a series of springboards, I think. All right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna shut up and get this thing spliced together and get it uploaded. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.